Perfect. Okay, so it's going to be a hatha / restorative class. So we'll just do some breath work to warm up. We'll do some gentle stretches and movements, and then we'll just kind of stay and be very restful in the end postures. So allowing yourself to be on your mat with slight elevation, however that looks for you. It can be a couch cushion, a towel, a blanket folded, just to kind of lift your sits bones. So I have this cushion here. It's not necessary, but if you have something near you that you can grab, just to start off. Can everyone still hear me from here? Yes, perfect. So allowing yourselves to just sit however it's most comfortable for you. We're just bringing the mind to the body. So just bringing that connection as we start breathing and just centering ourselves. So trying to let the stress of the day and the week just fade away. Not focusing on the past or what's coming in the future, but just being mindful right now in this present moment. We're going to gently scan through the body. So just allowing yourself to start at the crown of the head mentally, scanning through, softening the face. So if the eyes are open, allow them to just gently close. Or if you're more comfortable with them open, just gently gazing off the end of the nose, not really focusing on anything. Soften the forehead, the face, allow that lower jaw to just fall slack. Drop the shoulders from the ears and let them roll open into the back body, creating deeper space as you inhale through the chest. Lengthen through the torso and spine. Root deeply through the sits bones and feel like there's a string going up through the spine and pulling up through the crown to the ceiling. Anchoring your waist and feeling gently elevated on whatever block, bolster, mat, or pillow you may be using. Breathing space into the pelvis. Just letting your limbs fall heavy at your sides, however it's most comfortable for your hands to be. Allow them to rest. And then very gently, taking the left hand to the heart, the center of the chest, and taking the right hand right under the breastbone. So we're coming to that diaphragm and just breathing deeply into both hands. So allow that chest to rise and fall, allow the diaphragm to rise and fall. And we're just breathing so that our hands actually physically move with the breath. So the inhale fuels the nervous system and the exhale calms. So we're inviting that balance. We'll take a nice deep inhale, close those hands together to palm at the heart. Take a nice deep inhale so you breathe into those hands. And as we exhale, take the hands over to the left side, and we're just going to do a gentle twist. Only go as deep as you can. You don't need to fully twist around. It'll just feel like a nice movement through the spine. Inhale, we'll close back through the chest. And as we exhale, just gently come over to that right hand side. Looking over the right shoulder if you can. Exhale as you twist, lengthen through the spine. And inhale, we'll come back through center, just taking those hands back together. Beautiful. Sweep those arms up. Take a nice deep inhale And exhale as they sweep down through the body. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, sweep open and wide, coming up. Exhale, close those palms, bring them down through center. Very nice. So allowing yourself to come into cat-cow. So just taking that elevation prop just to the side. And we're coming into our tabletop to make our way into cat-cow. So once you feel you're nice and comfortable in this posture, take a nice deep exhale, bend at the elbows, tuck and round through the back body. And exhale. Inhale, lower the belly, lift the head and the tailbone nice and high. And at this time, just go with your own pace. Move with the breath, whatever feels best for your body. And it doesn't have to be this type of motion. You can add some lateral movements. So you're doing some C curves through the spine. You can do hip circles as well as you're rolling, whatever feels best for you. Just be mindful of the stress on your knees. We have 3 more breaths in this sequence. So adding whatever movement feels good. Just really trying to shake off the day. Just winding down for bed. Inviting that quiet restfulness throughout the body. And we'll finish on an exhale as we come back to our first child's pose. So take those knees nice and wide, allow those big toes to kiss, and just send those hips back down over top of the heels, and lower that chest and third eye down. Take the arms however it's most comfortable for you. That doesn't have to be out in front. It can be behind, reaching towards your heels, or they can be crossed, whatever feels best. We're going to add some lateral movement through this as well. So with a nice deep inhale, float up just to the fingertips, and then walk those fingertips over to the right side, only as far as it feels good for you. You can keep the forehead down, or you can take the left ear to the mat and look towards the right side. We have a couple deep breaths here. Finishing with a nice deep exhale, allow yourself to walk back through center. So float back up to those fingertips. And as you exhale, just bring them over to that left side. And again, either centering that forehead down or taking the right ear to the mat, looking to the left. Three nice deep breaths here. And with your inhale, just gently walking back through center, floating back up to those fingertips once again. And then slide those palms back to underneath. And we're coming back up to a tabletop. So from here, yogi's choice, you can stay in the tabletop, or if you feel you would like to, you can come up to a downward dog. Just listen to your wrists and see how you're feeling this evening. So if you're coming to a down dog, walk that dog out, bend the knees, swish the hips, spread those finger pads and articulate your grip so that the tips of the fingers are arcing into the mat like you're holding a ball. Beautiful. We're just adding some gentle stretches. So if you're in down dog, allow your left foot to step between your hands and drop that right knee down. If you're coming from a tabletop, do the same thing, just with that right knee already down. Beautiful. So we're in a low lunge here. We're going to take both hands to the inside of this front left foot, and then just send your pelvis forward. So protect this knee. If you're going too far forward and this knee starts to hurt, just keep the hips stacked over top. But if you're okay, feel the stretch in that hip flexor. Send the pelvis forward, press the ground away with your hands, and lengthen through that spine as you open up through the throat. Take one more deep inhale here, and as you exhale, walk your body weight back so that this hip stacks over that right knee, lengthen that left leg, and pull the toes up towards your nose. At first, we're going to start with our chest facing the ground, and then exhale and just round through the spine, so melt that chest down to the thigh. Take a nice deep inhale. We're going to plant our weight back into that front left foot. Slide that foot towards your body, so we're just shortening that distance. Keep this left foot as it is. The right knee is going to stay there, but the shin and foot will pivot behind you, and we're coming up to this stance. So keep those hips in line. We don't want that bum swaying out. We want this knee to stack over top of the ankle. You don't want it dipping in. So if you need to shorten that stance, please do so. We'll take a nice deep inhale, take those arms up. And as you exhale, come forward, but keep those hips stacked. So we don't want that bum collapsing. Keep it nice and straight as it was. Beautiful. If you can get the forehead down, please allow it to connect. If not, stay high on the palms and just feel the stretch. We have 3 more deep breaths here. With your inhale, just very gently pressing up to palms. Allow that left knee to close down, and we're just going to walk ourselves through a tabletop back to the front of the mat. So again, yogi's choice. You can stay in your tabletop and just step your right foot forward. Or if you'd like to stretch and take some stress off your knees, come back up into a down dog. Listen to your body, whatever feels best. If you are in the down dog, just walking it out and stretching once again. And then allow that right foot to come forward, dropping that left knee down. Beautiful. Take both hands to the inside and shift that body weight forward. It's a nice deep stretch here. Try and keep those hips level and breathe into this. Take a nice deep inhale here. And as you exhale, just walk your hands back. Keep your hips stacked over that left knee. Lengthen that right leg. Flex the foot. Keep that chest parallel towards the mat. Feel the stretch and retract that front hip. Then exhale, bend through the spine. Melt the chest down to that thigh. Feel the stretch here. Keep those hips level. And with a nice deep inhale, just plant that right foot back down. Slide the heel closer to your body, so we're cutting that distance. Keep that left knee where it is. Pivot the shin and foot behind you. And we're gonna come up, step that right foot slightly closer to your body. Beautiful. Keep that knee stacked over the ankle. You don't want that knee dipping in. Good, and we'll sweep those arms up with a nice deep inhale. And exhale, keep the hips where they are, so just hinge at the waist, don't stick that bum out. Beautiful, and melt down towards the mat. And if you can't, if it's too deep of a stretch or an angle, You want to protect that knee joint. You want to protect those hips so you just stay nice and tall. Try and release the tension that may be flowing upwards, because as women, we hold a lot of stress in our hips, so it tends to flow straight to the shoulders. So don't let it get stuck there. Breathe it all the way out. With a nice deep inhale, come back up to your palms if you haven't already. Beautiful. And then close that right knee down into a tabletop. And we're going to walk back to the front of the mat and then allow yourself to come back into a child's pose. Have some water if you have any near you. So we have 3 more deep breaths in this pose. Finishing with a nice deep exhale, and as you inhale, just coming back up to a tabletop. Beautiful. From the tabletop, we'll make our way onto our sits bones, and we're coming into the restorative aspect of the class now that we've done our deep stretches. So allow yourself to come to bridge pose. So we're reclining down, and we want the heels to walk as close to our bottom as we can with the knees together and facing up towards the ceiling. Nice long arms reaching towards the heels, and try to imagine that spine lengthening and laying as flat as it can on the mat. So from here, we're just resting in our reclined pigeon. So keep the right heel as close to the right bottom as you can. We're taking that left leg up towards the sky and then allow it to cross over that right leg as it opens up in a number 4. So breathe into those hip flexors and just allow the lower body to open. If you're quite tight in the shoulders and you would like to release here too, open those arms nice and wide, palm up to a T if you have the room. And if you don't, like myself, then you just bend at the elbows and those hands can palm up on either side of the head. Just breathing here, inviting lots of space through that front body as the back body just melts down into the mat. Mindfully releasing tension as you become aware of it. So areas that may be holding on to stress in that muscle memory, try to soften. If the eyes are open, try to allow them to close, remaining peaceful in this moment. With your next inhale, just very gently allowing that left leg to float up towards the ceiling. Maybe point and flex and add some circles in the ankle, just inviting gravity to help with lymphatic drainage. And then slowly bending that left knee and allowing the left foot to connect into the mat. We'll float that right leg up and then bend at the knee and just cross it over top. So become aware of the shift within the pelvis and feel the difference on either side of your hip flexors. Breathing into this, trying to soften the back body muscles that want to stabilize for you. So release the glutes. Try and breathe space through the chest. Feel the ribs opening away from the sternum. Breathe space into each individual rib and under the underarms. Maybe gently tucking the chin down towards the chest to breathe space into that cervical spine, lengthening through the spinal cord. Unpinching anything that may feel tight. Soften through that lower jaw. And with your next inhale, just very gently taking that right foot up towards the ceiling and inviting that small movement of point and flex and gentle circles. And then bending that knee, connecting the right foot in. Taking those feet wider apart and turn the big toes in to give you more of a knock-knee posture. And we're just opening up through the sacrum here now. So releasing through that back body and just allowing it to open up towards the mat. With your next inhale, just walk those feet closer back together. And allow those knees to fall away from one another as the soles of the feet come together. If that's too deep of a stretch at first, allow those feet to slide further from your torso. And if you would like a deeper stretch, just pull those heels closer to your bottom. Changing the arms at any time that you need to become more comfortable. And if you need to, you can always use props to support the backs of the knees if you are quite tight through the hip flexors. And if you don't have any props and you really need that support, allow one of your legs to go long. So you're doing basically tree pose laying down. So just listening to your body and adjusting at any time you need. Don't ever feel trapped in a pose. I'm just your guide. This is your practice. Listen to your body, it knows best. Mindfully releasing within this posture. Doing your best to soften in those areas that are opening up. To mindfully breathe, release. To invite a quiet mind, calm breath, rest and relaxation. With your next inhale, allow that right foot to come into the mat so that the knee is up towards the ceiling. And then allow that right knee to close down over top of the left. So the torso still remaining on the mat, but you're getting that nice S curve through the spine. For a neutral twist, take the head to look up towards the ceiling. For a gentler twist, take the head to look the same direction as your knees, so over to the left side. And if you'd like to deepen this twist, take the head to look the opposite way, so you're looking over your right shoulder. And again, only going as deeply as your body needs, and just honoring your sidedness. So one side is always a little bit tighter than the other. So just respecting how your body feels. With your inhale, just taking those knees back up towards the ceiling so you're on your spine. Just walk the feet over to the left side. And you can lift the bottom and roll onto the right hip. And then the knees just drop over to the right side. And again, taking the head to whatever position feels best. You do want to feel a stretch, but you never want to push through pain. So just honoring your body and taking it as gently as you need. As you're ready to inhale, just very gently taking your head back to center and then walking those feet into the mat so that the knees come back up towards the ceiling. And very gently, just dropping the knees stacked from side to side. So as they lower, exhale, and as they lift, inhale. So you don't have to go quickly or slowly. You can just follow your breath patterns. And if you'd like a deeper twist, just look the opposite way as your knees lower. We have 2 more on each side. And allow those knees to float up towards the chest. And we're just taking those hands to pull them in for a gentle squeeze. So either hold on the back of the thighs or on the shins, but try not to put pressure on the knees themselves. You can add gentle movements side to side just to massage that low back, and you'll get a gentle stretch through that back body. If you are close to any furniture like a chair or a couch, you can actually elevate your legs so that they just rest on top. So you want the back of the thighs to be up against, and then the lower legs will rest on top. Or if you have a wall beside you, we'll just simply do legs up the wall. If you don't, allow yourself to take a block or a cushion or a bolster, anything that you might have. Come into bridge pose to elevate the hips, slide it under the hips, and that will help support as the legs float up. So just making do with anything that you have to allow those legs to support. And with that gentle elevation, allow those arms to open nice and wide. Take a gentle tuck of the chin down towards the sternum to protect that cervical spine. And just allow gravity to support this gentle inversion. Continue to breathe deeply into the chest and diaphragm. And if you'd like to close your hands back on to remind you, please do so. Sometimes just having that extra weight or the warmth of your body keeps you mindful and present of that breath. But just listening to yourself and changing as your body needs. If you feel stress start to shift upwards to the head, neck, and shoulders, you can just simply draw those arms down so they're reaching towards the bottom. And that gently just gives a stretch through the neck and shoulders. So if at any time this becomes too much for you, you can always take one leg down and just do one leg at a time. So if you're up against a wall, you can just slide one foot in and have that knee bent and then take turns. Or you can come back to that butterfly pose or cobbler pose with the soles of the feet together and breathe space into the hip flexors, whatever feels best for your body. We are trying to find peace and rest within this pose, but you want to be comfortable before surrendering into it. So allow your body to find that ease of comfort. Gently bringing your awareness back to the present moment, focusing on this next deep inhale. And then very gently allowing those knees to bend as you exhale and making your way off of any props that you may have used down onto your left side. We'll just stay there for a moment in fetal position just to allow the body to come back to a nice homeostasis rest. So your next inhale, just extending that right leg long and pressing into your palms just to push up to a comfortable seated posture. You can take that prop once again just to elevate your sits bones. We'll just do some gentle breath work before coming into Shavasana. Please allow yourself to have some water or tea or anything you're drinking. And allow yourself to get nice and cozy because the body tends to cool down and we're coming into Shavasana. So we want to maintain that warmth. So with those sits bones elevated, just allow those hands to fall palm open in your lap. Draw the shoulders down from the ears, round them into the back body, open space through the chest, lengthen through the neck, and just feel like you have that string once again. So it's pulling through the spine and it's rooting you down to the floor and pulling you up to the ceiling. And just breathe, taking a nice deep inhale. And purge anything stagnant with the exhale. Breathe in fresh new energy, fresh new breath. And release the old. Breathe in peace and love. Breathe out self-doubt and negativity. Breathe in calmness. And release the tension with the exhale. Take those hands to palm at heart center. And then release. We'll come back off of that prop and allow yourself to make your way down into Shavasana. Just opening and lengthening, palms up, open to your sides. Allow those big toes to roll open so the inner thighs roll up towards the ceiling. Please feel free to turn off any lights. I will keep mine on so that you still have some light on your screen. But allow yourself to become as restful and calm as you would like. Bringing your mind to focus on this next inhale and gently beginning to awaken the body with your exhale. Inviting small movements in the fingers and toes. Allowing gentle movements in the ankles and wrists. Maybe stretching the arms long overhead and coaxing a gentle yawn. And then very gently rolling over to your left side and pressing up as you are ready to come back to a comfortable seated posture in your own time with your breath. Taking those hands together back at heart center and focusing on this nice deep inhale, just honoring yourself to take time to practice this evening. And as you exhale, just mindfully releasing anything left that no longer needs to serve you, anything stagnant, anything negative, just release it out. And with that, thank you each of you for practicing with me this evening. Namaste. Thank you. I hope you all have a great evening.
Thank you for the beautiful stretch.
Oh, you're so welcome, Cindy. Thank you for coming.
It was a great practice. Good night, everybody.
Thank you. Good night, everyone. Rest well.
You too.
Thank you.